Ooh, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? You're early, sweet. What's up, Minnie? How you doing? What's up, Rican? How you guys doing today? Hopefully really, really well. Key Bobo, what's up, man? Ooh, maybe a little close. What's up, Disco? Man, some of my favorite people. Oh man, it's been a day. It's been a day. Mostly because I didn't really sleep that much. Kind of trash. Not very happy with it. Gotta admit. Not happy. What's up, TSC? All right. So today we're gonna build something super fun. Something that I really like. I don't know. I guess we don't build a lot of things that I don't like. Can't really think of much. I guess I just like building keyboards. So yeah, so today we are, like I said, we're gonna build something that I like. We're gonna build a KBD8X MkII, which is a great board. You can kind of see mine right there. You see, maybe I don't use it that much, but I have to admit, like, I got enough boards that they kind of are on a pretty long rotation. Don't feel bad you didn't sleep well either. Yeah, I got like 2.5 hours of sleep. So pretty rough. I don't know, man. My sleep's just been kind of fucked. For me, usually the only way I can really reset my sleep is actually by just staying up super fucking long and then being exhausted, and then I get to sleep, and then that's the way it works. Hey, Bouncy Chillups, man, thanks for gifting that tier 1 sub to Jeremy57. I appreciate that, man. I really, really do. So yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna power through until like regular people's sleep time tonight, and then yeah, that's how that's gonna work. It's really weird. I didn't get an alert. Oh, well, I'll fix that real quick. There it is. What are my thoughts on Rukia? Ooh, we'll get to that in a sec. We'll get to that. Felt bad probably being the reason. You are definitely not the reason, Bouncy Chillups. You aren't. Like, I had these switches lubed in no time. Like, I could have gotten probably 7 hours of sleep if all it was that lube. So I actually just tried for like 4 more hours to go to sleep, and it didn't succeed. So it's just my body. I know, man. I tried to get some rest. Obi-Wan Kabudi. Love that fucking name, dude. Love that name. I love it. Don't worry, Abstand. I'm gonna get to the Rukia question. I'm gonna. Just gonna have to wait a minute. Jeff Leopard, what's up, man? Hey, Jeff. I saw you in that private group by Discord, and I want you to know I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, buddy. I'm fucking ready. Wow. I guess I should not curse so much. Sorry, guys. How very unprofessional of me. So I'm drinking Aha sparkling water. This one is peach and honey. Peach and honey. Pretty good. Pretty good. Bouncy Chillups, nope, not German. Oh, because of the name? We do have good selections. I mean, these are just waters. Most of what I drink on stream is water. Like, this is 0 calories, it's just flavored water. I don't even think it has artificial sugar or sweetener in it. Natural, yeah, carbonated water, natural flavors. Those are the only 2 ingredients. So I don't know how it could be exactly 0 calories without any. It's probably just like less than 1 per whatever its serving size is, so they get to call it that. Yeah, it's funny. Bouncy, honestly, man, like, it's been forever since I've spoken any German, but I took a couple years of German in high school, and I had the honor, the pleasure of my my teacher being from Germany. She was pretty young. She was maybe like 24, 23 when I started taking that class, but she spoke like about 5 languages fluently. She was a very language oriented person, and she was from Germany, and she lived there till she was like 17. So it was really, really cool having somebody who had native speakers intuition to learn from, because I remember we would talk to other German classes at other schools just to practice, and yeah, they were not good. Like, they didn't learn as well because we had like this awesome resource, right? I could ask her a question about how something worked language wise, and she would be like, let me think about it. And like literally the next day in class, she would come and she would be like, okay, so this is exactly how that thing works. I figured it out. And I was like, it was kind of awesome. Yeah, native speaker learning, like, that's the best way. Flavored carbonated water is, yeah, it's great, man. I love flavored carbonated water. Sounds like very smart water. Aha. Yeah, I agree. You are. Well, I am, you are. Yeah, okay. Got it. I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, what is he saying? She did. Yeah, that teacher was like, I had a couple teachers back then who were like super passionate about what they taught. It was kind of cool. I think I was lucky. Yeah, it was really good. Anyway, you bought some of those applicators for the lube and they're too big. Oh, which ones? You buy the same kind that I have? Didn't I send you links? Could have sworn I sent links. It's weird that they're too big. That's crazy. I mean, you've seen mine under a microscope next to a stabilizer, so it should be pretty... man, sorry. Bought it on German Amazon. Yeah. I'll try and find links for you if you remind me later. Okay, so back to Abstan's question about how I feel about Rukia. Let's get right into it. Rukia. It's on my desk because I love it. Yeah, man, it's a great board. Honestly, it's a great board. It's the tolerances are great for polycarbonate. It sounds amazing. This is one of the best sounding boards in my arsenal. It is actually my best sounding board. Mine has the brass plate. I updated it to VIA, and now for whatever reason the indicators don't work, so I got to figure that part out. Other than that, though, it's pretty great. Kibobo. Okay, man, I'll do a sound check just for you guys. How about that? All right, so I'm not going to turn the compressor off or any of that goodness. I'm just gonna... There you go. How about that? How about that? Sorry, took me a second to get that all rearranged. Actually, it's gonna take me one more second. All right, better. Pierre LeBlanc, everyone's doing pretty well, I think. I mean, I am. What switches are in the Rukia Absand? This has Zycos in it. And if you're curious to know more about that, yeah, exclamation point Zycos. Tell you all about them. You got some mint blacks for a really good price. By far the best sounding switches you've tried. Really? Mint blacks sound pretty good. I like them. But yeah, I don't know. They're not the best feeling switches in my opinion. So I did get a couple of other things for the stream area that are gonna make my life a little better. So I got these cool glass spray bottles. I dyed what's in here. So this one has alcohol, like pure isopropyl alcohol, 99%. I put 1 drop of food coloring in there, 1 drop of food coloring in here. This is just distilled water. Like we use the isopropyl alcohol sometimes to spray off PCBs. I use the distilled water literally before every stream to spray this mat down because flux gets on it. So if you guys are doing a lot of keyboard builds or keyboard builds at all over a desk mat, you have to be prepared for the fact that there's going to be a bunch of flux splatter that gets on it, and you'll have to wipe it off. So my regular routine, I spray it down with distilled water, and then I use one of these brushes, this kind of deal. I think these are made for like cleaning things on a pole, but anyway, just scrape it, just wipe everything down, then I spray it again and wipe it again. You have a separate desk mat for stuff, you can dirty it. Yeah, and that's reasonable. This is a Myonix Alioth XXL. I thought that I just ordered another one, but it turns out that I ordered an XL, which is not as big as I want it to be. The XL is the 300 by 900 size, or 400 by 900, sorry, millimeters. This is considerably larger, this desk mat. Dude, he literally muted his mic. Yeah, man. Well, I had a hiccup, kind of. Like a hiccup burp thing. I don't know. It's weird. Classy. Thanks. All right. You know, they're a meme. What's a meme, but they're really small? Oh, okay. Jessup59. Just saw on Rama website. The M65B alu boards are finished machining, getting freighted next month. Nice. Nice. Got an order for 2. You got 2 of them? Oof, dude. 2 M65s? You must really like them. I like them too, so I understand. Gonna be your first customs, all stocked up with 205, 3204 Alpacas, Zelios, ready in-house with Zeal stabs, plus Hacko FX88D. Nice, dude. FX888D, I think you mean? Meh, whatever. That's awesome, dude. You are like prepped. You got some good solder, hopefully. Some leaded goodness. Arpature. I like that name. That's cool. Thanks so much for that follow, man. Anybody who's not already subbed or following, consider going up there and hitting one of those buttons. It helps. I'd appreciate it. Then we can keep in touch. Yutzi is a design genius. You wish Tengu had Rukia curves. Tengu's pretty nice though. They're just different boards, man. I like Tengu a lot. Oh shit. You know what, Jeff? Dude, thank you so much. And I'm sorry again. I've been meaning to like pull that thing out. I feel like an asshole. I'll tell you what. Boys and girls, I will be right back. And by be right back, I mean like less than 1 minute. BRB. Ooh, and I'm back. Sorry. No, don't say that, Jeff. No. Here it is. Look, man, I understand. You're getting ready for a group buy. Oof. Yep, FC980C. So this one already has the housings modded by the guy who built it or who messed with it before me, which is good, right? So this is if you want to put like regular MX caps on here, you need the little cutouts for it. The only thing I think that's completely normal is the spacebar, which is always the, like, you know, concern with Topra. It's always the difficult thing to get. Topra's weird, man. Topra's weird. I'm not that into it personally. It's nice though. I don't like how Topra sounds either. I think it sounds like what's the best thing to compare it to? Kind of like silenced switches. Yeah, that's what I got to say, man. That's what I got to say. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Yeah, membrane. It does kind of feel like that. You guys aren't wrong. I'm not hating. It's just not for me. That's the way I feel about it. Need to add more explanation to that command, you think? The Kalanopes command? All right. Set it for a reminder later. It's wait, membrane. Yeah, well, technically it is a membrane, right? So you're not wrong. All right. Without further ado, we are going to we're going to pull up the KBD8X MkII that we're about to build and all the components. We got those Alpaca linears all filmed up, lubed. These are really nice. I really like, I'm not a linear guy, but I have to say, man, I really like these switches. These are pretty premium stuff. Lubed and filmed alpacas. So good. So good. And then we got these beautiful stabilizers. I feel like these ones are these the ones? Bouncy Chill-Ups. Are these the ones you bought? You bought Novel Keys ones? Is this what you bought? Or are these ones that I bought and then you bought other ones? I'm so confused. Did you buy a bunch of extra 6.25 U ones? Because you got... I'm just trying to see if if these are ones that I ordered or if you got 5 stabs. Like that many. Or did you also get 3 extra? Because I want to make sure to send you back the right stuff, man. Yeah, check when you get a chance. But I'm going to pull out what we need, which today is those. And this is a Win key version, so we are going to be doing building with the 6.25U bottom row, unless customer wants Sangan or something like that. In which case I probably have a 7U stab wire. I presume you want standard ANSI personally, but I don't know. Oh yeah. Your films are stuck in another city for a month? Ouch, man, that hurts. Obi-Wan Kabudi, did you have to spend a lot of money to get a strong knowledge of these switches and such? It's so overwhelming to you. So here's the deal, Obi-Wan Kaboody. You can leverage the community a lot. You can't really leverage them to form your opinions for you, but you can leverage the community to some extent to give you a fairly objective response on some questions, right? Like the science part of it, anything that's just fact, right? We can go into like finish and quality of things, but what you like, no one can answer that for you but you. But you can leverage their opinions to get a good basis for understanding where to start. Like if you want to know what the best is, or if you want to know what the most value is, or the cheapest, or the most tactile, or whatever, or the loudest, or quietest, whatever it is that you're going for, you can kind of get a good starting point and a few options to like look at that'll probably narrow you down. That's my take on it. But I partially leverage the community to send me things to build, so I get to test all sorts of stuff that I would not have bought on my own. So I'm kind of an aggregator for your decisions, and I get to make my own opinions based on those things and give you guys some feedback. Standard ANSI bottom row sounds great, man. Yeah, you've been using Topra for 6 years. Them feels are strong. So Kibobo, that board over there, that FC980C, that one is a that has BKE Redux heavies and some BKE Redux what's the one above heavy, the extremes or whatever, on like caps lock and escape and stuff like that. But I have all the original domes, and I'm not sure which ones I like more, to be honest. I like heavy switches, but I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we are, guys. I don't know, this box took some abuse at some point, but everything inside looked good when I looked at it. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what you want, right? Like, I think the BKE lights probably would have been good, but in the FC980C, I think you got 45 gram domes, and a lot of people like those ones. Or maybe I'm backward, I don't know. It's hard, honestly. I kind of forget, because so basically the deal is not this last NorCal meetup, but the one before that was my first meetup. So I went, and I didn't know what I didn't know, right? I think I had like a KBD75 V2, and that was like my only board. So I basically what I did is I went, so this one's polycarbonate and it has a blue bottom. I like the polycarb one personally. Mine's polycarb too, and I think it's gorgeous. And I built a non-polycarb one, and I think I like the polycarb one more personally. Yeah, so I went, and somebody there had a Norba Force or Norba Touch. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I don't pay too much attention to Norbauer's boards, to be honest. Though I do know that he's coming out with a case for that FC980C. And if I liked Topra, I would be super stoked, because I also like 1800 compact, right? But I'm not going to invest in it, probably. I'm going to sell that board probably to Jeff, who I think is looking for one. If not, no biggie. Yeah, so I like this board. This weight has a little bit of, I don't even know what to call it. The weight is like it was either previously used or it's a B stock. Yeah, B stock, there you go. A lot of people been saying the Real Force variable domes are the best. Maybe. I'm not opposed to trying it. In fact, I'm looking forward to trying to play with like literally every kind of board, but the likelihood of me buying another Topra board pretty low, unfortunately. Which keyboard you got? No, man. Honestly, if you didn't bring a board to a meetup, you're just going to be playing with other boards that other people brought. It's just a social gathering. There's nothing crazy about it. It's not it's not crazy, man. It's not crazy. People aren't, well, I want to say that people aren't super snobby, but they are. They are. But not like usually in a shitty kind of way, if that makes sense. Like, they just like cool things and they know what they like, so that's what they're into, which is fine, I think. We want maybe this guy? Maybe this guy. Nah, next guy down. Can we flash VIA on this PCB? Pretty please. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a VIA compatible firmware, right? It should be really straightforward. Should be like really straightforward. You've been looking for a teal compact full size forever. Compact full size. Yeah, I thought there was. Oof, why is that screw so tight to unthread? Okay. Alrighty. You're looking forward to bringing the Molly to meetups. Aren't going to be too many of them, so they will be kind of, yeah, they won't be common, man. They won't be. Will be pretty unique. I have some boards like that. Like if I bring Baka 60 to a meetup, there's only so many of those. Hopefully soon I'll have the atomic purple HBCP in my possession, which means that'll be super unique because there's like 10 of those. I got some unique boards. I like this song too, Disco. It's a good song. I do. You guys weren't all aware, man. Disco Crocodile gonna be restocking on those Durox slides or Durox stabilizers real soon. Disco, you're a savior to the community. Wish those were in stock like everywhere all the time. I do. Are there any keyboard meetups in Germany? I know they have some in the UK. I'm sure there are some in Germany. Germany's a really populous country, right? There was Mechanicon. Yeah, global pandemic. Womp womp. Okay, so we got that out. Pull this top piece off and the plate. Why does this? There we go. So a beautiful board. Ooh, one of those was loose. Bad news bears. So this is a beautiful board, and it's top mount, right? So the plate is actually mounted to the top, which, well, is kind of wonderful. Top mount's great. Yeah, I like that color too. That teal. Oh yeah, the Rona has thrown a wrench in a lot of plans. No joke. Hopefully it stops soon. Yeah, the mech meetup in Norway was also canceled. Sorry. KeyCon got moved. Everything's moved or canceled. Pretty much all events everywhere. Which is a pretty major bummer. But hey, we get to meet up and hang out virtually twice a week here on my stream. So, you know, smash that follow button. And let's keep in touch. I think that's a good way to handle it. You can get here and we can build all the cubes. TSC, you're not saying we should do a Turo. Whoa, where'd that go? Not saying we should do a tour of your meetups or anything, but not saying that. Got it. Yeah. I'm not seeing my chat update. It's real weird. It's really, really weird. Oh, there it went. Okay. Bizarro. I'm not dropping frames. Had to look at it. Like, what's going on? No, KB, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? Hopefully really well. Hopefully all of your Sunday mornings or afternoons or evenings, depending on where you are in the world, are going super well. Oh, okay. Where did I miss? There's one. So there are inserts for the bottom attachments to the top. I don't recall if there are helicoil inserts for the plate to the top mount. I don't think there are. Ooh, there are. And that's so nice. So AIO3 did such a good job designing this, and despite the issues that arose with the production of these boards and the timelines and KBD fans kind of getting screwed on the deal a little bit, they did a pretty good job. I don't like their use of Phillips head hardware, but what are you going to do? Now that we've got this plate separated, we'll just set it to the side because we don't need it yet. We did not put the bump-ons on yet, so I'm just going to drop that in there on top of the bottom case. Always put your bump-ons on first, boys and girls. That's definitely the way to do. The Discipline is so sexy. I personally don't love the Discipline board, but it's just because I don't like, I don't like, that size personally. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's actually pretty cool. And I think it's a cool kit. And price wise, it's pretty fantastic. Okay. All right. You also need to make a teal case for the Discipline. Oh yeah. So I will always criticize this. Your PCB should always come on, and instead of defaulting to red, should default to rainbow RGB goodness, because then you can tell that everything is working when you plug it in the first time. Ooh. That's the one I want. All right, so we will pull up some switch hittery action, reload that, pop it up on the screen for you. Test this TKL out. How do you guys feel about this board? I think it's a great board. I think it sounds okay. I think it looks beautiful. I don't know. I'm happy with mine. I don't use it a ton, but I don't use a lot of my boards. Thanks, Corona. Well, that's fair. You just love the internals look. Reminds you of translucent purple Game Boy. Ooh, yeah. You want something that reminds you of a purple translucent Game Boy? You should look up that the atomic purple polycarbonate HBCP, which there should only be renders of right now and some pictures from Heine. I don't think anybody's actually received those yet, or maybe some people have. I don't know. I ordered one. I have not received mine yet, but I know that it's inbound. So AIO3 made these weird relief cuts. I don't know how I feel about it, man. How did I miss all of those? That was really weird. Did I not? Okay. No, I just didn't make contact apparently. Weird. That was really weird, man. I don't like it. I'm not that worried about it though. Why does that look so off-centered? No, it's not. Took me a second though. So bouncy chill-ups. Since you're here, are we doing stepped caps lock and standard everything else? You said standard ANSI, right? I just wasn't clear on whether you wanted stepped caps. Also, standard ANSI in Germany? You have a layout question. Yeah, stepped, but a question regarding layout. Ask, man. Ask. Can one do standard ANSI but? I'm intrigued, my friend. I am intrigued. Also do the short left shift with the additional key between shift and Z. Not on this board. This board only supports, or this PCB at least, only supports 2.25U left shift. Yeah, I know, man. Obi-Wan Kabuti, thank you so much for that follow. I missed It's a Me Marius with that Prime sub 7 minutes ago. I don't know how I missed that, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Sorry for missing out. Today is my birthday. Today is not my birthday, but it is about this weekend. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Happy unbirthday. Yes. Yes, indeed, sir. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. All good. Just hoping to support your work a bit. It's me, Marius. Thank you so much, man. Really, really, I do appreciate it. It's really, it helps. It really does. Hey, happy early B-Day, bro. Yeah, thanks, man. May birthdays. Hype. Yeah. Yeah, I don't actually post my real birthday on all my social media and stuff. So like everybody gets confused because there's like a few days around my birthday where like I fudge it on all the things because strangers, you know. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. I guess it's not that critical of information, but still. Do I say happy birthday or not? It's up to you, man. It's not a big deal. I'm not that like, not that big on celebration of birthdays anyway, but I appreciate you guys wishing me well. Thank you so much, really. So our PCB works. Yay, PCB working. I guess we didn't test the function layer, which we could do. So basically we know this should be our function layer right here, right? I just don't know what. Okay, so that turned off the backlighting. I don't know if you guys can see that turning on and off. So we know that worked. We know the function layer does something because that switch position did something else otherwise. Okay, so we know this works. Great. Now what we're going to move on to is we're going to also set this aside, and we're going to move on to lubing stabilizers, boys and girls. Lubing stabilizers. Hey, Bouncy Chill-Ups, thanks for the $10 tip, man. Thank you so much, and thanks for the happy birthday, man. I really appreciate that. Just confused if it's his birthday or not. It's this weekend. I'll ping you, man. We cool. We cool. Ooh. Okay, yeah, you did order those extra stabs. Cool. I just wanted to make sure they made it back to you, by the way. That's why I was like, did you order these? Because it comes with my address and all my name on the shipping things, and that happens a bit. People send me things or have things ordered to my place, and I'm like, there's no way to like put a note in there, so it's just like I have to like kind of correlate it as manually as I can. And I do that same thing that you did, where I order a bunch of extra stabs when I order a set for something. So just kind of is what it is. Yeah, this is a very flexy PCB. I don't want to flex it too much, but it's made to flex with these relief cuts. Did I ever try the Oreo and Everglides, by the way? No, I have not. I have not tried either of those. Did you send some to me? I know you were talking about it. Somebody was talking about it. Oh, like in the 8X box? I will try them. I will try them. The box is over there. And I'm not going to pull that up here because that has like shipping information, you know. Okay, so now we're going to pull our little microvision up. Yeah, okay. I know where you're talking about. Yes, I have that. I have not played with them though, but I will before I send this back. Your linear gang, but Oreos are your guilty pleasure, even unlubed. They feel incredible. You know what other linears feel really good that I really like is these Tangies. These C3 Tangies. I don't know why, but they feel great. I don't think they'll sound as good as a lot of other options, but I do think that they feel great. I wonder what U-stems would feel like in them. I will definitely be trying them. Super, super, super nice. I believe it, man. I do. I actually do. Like, we are getting better and better at making great switches. Like, that's just a fact. Like, things are getting better in our hobby. Escaped, thank you so much for that follow, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Really, really do. All right. Sorry about it not supporting the 2U left shift, man. Feels bad. Just kind of is. What's up, Escaped? How you doing, man? Kingly Keys GB2 milk, a lactose inspired macro pad. So I have one of those. One of those milks. They're pretty nice. There's a round 2. Oh, I didn't realize that. It was a round 2 coming up. I like the little sticker on the side of it. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Milk and Oreos, right? Huh? Hey man, latest round of KBD8X MkII didn't have the muting kit, O-rings plus foam. Did you happen to know the dimensions, ID, and OD of the O-rings? Oof, no. However, I feel like maybe KBD fans could get you that information. If not, AIO3 could get you that information. The guy who designed the board. Sorry, man. I just don't know it. I just don't know what I don't know. Speaking of Milk and Cafe, that's a set that I can't wait for, man. It's gonna turn out so nice. So well. All right, boys and girls. Let's get to microvision. All right. What else do we need? What else do we need? We need some awesome tweezery action. Okay, so you don't really need a switch hitter at all, but we're gonna go over how to lube these. Right, so I'm just putting them on tweezers because that's gonna make it more easily visible for you guys. Right, so you take a dollop of lube, not very big, not very big. Right, this little guy. So we're using something that has a moderate spring weight, but not super heavy, not super light. So you always kind of take this into account when you're lubing stabilizers, whether it be the well, this part especially, right? So we take our little lube applicator, spread some of that along that surface, this back surface. Right, and then we smear it on the top surface. I feel like a surgeon doing laparoscopic surgery sometimes with this thing. So we lube our stab up like that. That would be a fairly light coating. We're actually going to add just a tiny little bit to this equation. Right, there we go. We got a little bit thicker of a coat. We don't want to go super heavy. We also don't want to go too light. There we go. There we go. That's going to be a little less than perfectly even. Right, there we go. We got lube on both sides of it. Dude, love this microscopic view. Super helpful. Thanks, man. So that's what we shoot for here. New Zeal switch on Instagram apparently can do clicky plus tactile plus linear all in one. Does it ship with different stems? I'm gonna have to look at that, Jessup. That's weird, but I like it. Here was recommended to your stream exactly for microscope cam. Very much appreciate the educational content. Thank you, man. And you are welcome, honestly. Like I want everybody to be able to tell what's going on. What lube am I using? I am using 205 grade 0, which is what I always use on stabs. Get that 205, buddy. You know, there's a Weird Al song called Like a Surgeon. Yes, I did know that, but I didn't think about that, right? So you lube it up like that, right? We're not going to lube all of them up on camera exactly like this, but we'll show the next section, the next segment, right? Which is the insert itself. So the insert has two sides. The insert has a side with one hole that has a ramp, and then the side with two holes. So I usually go in the side with two holes, but it doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you don't lube that second pocket on the top because it doesn't functionally serve a purpose other than to have the ramp on the backside and to create this lever point right here. Right, I'll kind of show you why, but we'll lube it up. So I'm gonna take another little dollop of lube, and I'm gonna go in through that bottom section right there. Right, so I'm not trying to flood that entire compartment, I'm just trying to coat it with lube. Now, some people don't do it this way. Some people just apply to the wire only. We do both. So that's why we're not trying to like flood this compartment. So you can still see through there. There's still a lot of empty space there. But the reason that we do this is because the wire also goes in that hole, and the wire can be straight or it can swing that way. Sorry, it's harder to line it up than you think. Right? And this would be the stabilizer up position. and this flat would be the stabilizer all the way down position. So we're gonna go over all of the different portions of lube, right? But this gets put into this other housing as such. And I will show this part too. Okay, so we have this, right? This side over here is the front side, and this is the back side, right? So you have the insert, and it goes in with the 2 holes toward the front side over here. So it literally goes in like this. Just like that, right? So now that it's in there, right, now the wire can slip in from this side and go straight in that way. And then the wire can tilt and this part will rise. So that's pretty much where we're going with it. Now I will show lubing up one of the wires and kind of explain how that works, right? So we got this wire. We got our brush again. Going to take a fairly large dollop of lube on this part. This part is a lot less critical in terms of over lube possibilities. You don't have to worry as heavily on this side as you do on the others, especially on the guide itself, the guide housing rather itself, right? So we want to just kind of evenly coat this thing, right? Which we've done. Okay, and yep, it's all over. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, and you want to make sure you go pretty far up that elbow, right? So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna stick the wire in this side, right? So let me get into an orientation where I can kind of easily do that, right? So you notice how that worked, right? And then you're gonna push down so that this thing snaps in. Right, so I just applied pressure on the top of the wire and on the bottom of the housing, and it snapped right into that hole. And now you have this ability. And the lubricant dampens any plastic on plastic or metal on plastic rattle that occurs. The contact points are obviously the wire inside of the housing, the inner part against the outer part, and then the wire right here. So we have lubed literally every single one of those components by executing exactly the lube job we just did. So now I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, I wouldn't normally do all of that part. I would do them kind of in series. So I'm going to turn our microscope vision off, put this off to the side for a second, and I'm gonna do this a little more zoomed in, but not microscope. All right. Use a really horrible, well-used brush. I think you need a new one. Yeah, so you want it to be clean. That's really the critical part there. That's really like the gotcha. It needs to not have a bunch of debris on it at all, or any debris on it really, because you don't want that stuff being all grindy in there. You've been spoiled by the microscope. This isn't close enough. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. Right, this is a lot faster though, not under the microscope. If we were a surgeon, we would be charging by the hour and a lot more. So it would be like plenty okay for me to just do it under the microscope. Also, it'd be a lot more critical for the process anyway. I don't want to go by feel on that surgery thing. right? So we're going to lube all of these up, all of these housings up. Then we're going to lube all the inserts. Then we're going to do the wires individually as we snap them in. That's my workflow, and it seems to mostly work for me. Now I'm just kind of looking in there to make sure that it's got enough of a coat for me each time. Now adding more is actually not that difficult, so you don't need to worry about that. So what keyboards am I excited about in the near future? Well, my friend, let me tell you, let me show you. I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about Austin round 2. Do you mean things that I've already ordered? Do you mean things that I've already ordered? Swizz, there is a brush command. I'm not sure if they're in stock on Amazon anymore, but the exact type is. If the exact item listing is not. They're little makeup applicators. That's what they're made for. Yeah, okay, so both that I already ordered and I'm going to order. So there's a couple private group buys that I'm excited for. Both of which I probably shouldn't talk about at all right now. Bouncy Chill-Ups, I'm pretty sure you know about one of them. Actually, you know about both of them. One of them you're maybe a little more intimately familiar with. But things that I've already ordered that I'm waiting on, that I'm really excited for, are Kepler, HBCP, Crown, LZ Physics, that HMKB, Austin round 2. I know there's more, they're escaping me. Oh, Space 65 Cyber Voyager Schrodinger version, which is kind of exciting and terrifying. I don't know if anybody else got in on that and feels the same way, but I'm really excited because I'm sure the colors will be awesome, but it's gonna be weird, I'm sure. Yeah, that's what I feel. So it's way better than a paintbrush, or would you say same? These are better than a paintbrush. I like them more for this, especially for stabilizer application. Like, I have paintbrushes, little tiny paintbrushes, and I do not use them at all for this. In fact, I mostly just don't use them at all anymore because I tub lube also. So if I were going to be doing toper lubing, I would still use paintbrushes. I think that's all I would use them for at this point. All your tofu acrylic stuff is coming in on the 28th. Clutchy, nice, man. Nice. I think the tofu acrylic is a decent board. I think it's a really good board, especially for a beginner, somebody who, you know, rightfully so, thinks that spending, you know, $600-700 on a keyboard is too much money. You know, I mean, someone who's just getting initiated into the hobby. Tofu acrylic is the only good tofu. Activity CS, I don't know if it's the only good tofu, but it's definitely the best. It is definitely the best. Like, there are no doubts in my mind that that's true. I agree with that sentiment, at least. Because, I mean, if you don't want an RGB 60, there are a ton of other options out there that are on the custom side. They're more expensive. You might have to go aftermarket, but you're going to get an awesome board, a more awesome board. But I mean, you're getting 80% of the quality and premium feel from a tofu as you are out of any other 60, and you're getting it at a considerably lesser price. So the value equation is still such that the value of a tofu, even non-acrylic, is still pretty high. IMO. Okay. We're gonna build these. Just like this. Build all these bad boys, and we're gonna put the wires in them all, lube the wires individually, and put them in. Alu tofu is resonant and rigid. Yeah, it is. Now, what tweezers do I use? Man, so many tweezers get used on this channel. So I use some of these locking tweezers, reverse locking tweezers, right? So you can do things like this, right? Without holding onto it. I use one set of tweezers where I don't even know how I could get them again. They're fairly inexpensive and they came with something else. They're fairly blunted on the tip. They're not sharp. And then I use a bunch of other ones that you guys have seen, but really they all kind of can't. They all are kind of available in a kit like this. And you can find tweezer kits like this on Amazon. That's where this came from. Petrov, thanks, man. Thanks for the happy birthday. Tiny, same tweezer gang? Really? Yeah, man. Like, there's so many tweezers that get used on this channel. It's kind of ridiculous. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know. The tweezers are super useful. Oof, that's kind of a lot. Gavin Saubert, thank you so much for that follow, man. I appreciate that. Anybody who's not already following or subbed, you know, consider going up there and doing that part. I would appreciate it. So I already did a bunch of microscope work, so we're just kind of lubing all the rest of these stabs up like this. But now if anybody's confused on what's going on here, needs guidance again, like maybe you just tuned in, you let me know. Guess I could say go back and watch the VOD like a jerk, but you know, that would be a jerk move. Have I ordered blueberries? So I did order blueberries, but fairly recently. Kind of looking forward to them. I want to check them out. Jess said this is such a relaxing and fun stream. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate that. It's your B-Day. It's not my B-Day today. necessarily. This is my birthday weekend, though. Thank you. Sure, it's my birthday. Maybe. I don't know. It seems like an oddly like personal piece of information to give out to everybody. So like I don't usually give my exact birthday out. I don't know. It seems weird. I guess. Maybe I'm just weird like that. Kellen Oaks. Dude, I'm actually kind of excited to test blueberries. I've heard a lot of like conflicting information about them. Like some people are like, oh my god, they're scratchy and crap, or they're freaking fantastic. Like, I don't know. I want to form my own opinion. I want to be too distracted by other people's opinions of them. Like, I usually just form my own opinion about all the things anyway. Like I said earlier, I think taking other people's advice for where to like find an entry point is good. But like, if you know you like really tactile things, for instance, right, you could ask the community like, what are the really most tactile switches? And people are going to be like, well, Holy Pandas are pretty good, Zeal V2s are pretty good, things like that. And then you're just like, boom. Does anyone know what IME got for his birthday? What did I get for my birthday, Petrov? Mostly just hanging out since, you know, the Rona. I was gonna have a party, like a fat party. That was what was planned to have, but that's not the way it worked out because the Rona. And that's okay, man. Not that there's, you know, a pandemic on, but that the party had to not happen because of the pandemic. That's just all right. I still did get to spend time not alone, like during my birthday, which was very nice. Just not with very many people, and basically only people that I see for one reason or another anyway. I did watch The Terminator last night. Not the very last one, but the one before that. It's kind of weird. Favorite tactiles are lilacs. Okay. Lots of questions, or lots of more comments. Your opinion is somewhere in the middle. On blueberries, I presume you mean? Okay, fair. Does anyone, no. You think they're just like creams and that they just get better with time? Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Not even a gobby or something? What is a gobby? Yeah, okay. Have to Urban Dictionary that one, Petrov. I will do that sometime. After this. Oh, Petrov. I'm almost afraid. But I'll look it up. Anyway, Petrov, man, how are you doing? It's good to see you in here. It's been a while, man. Been a while since we all hung out. I kind of can't wait for the next time. Kind of can't wait. I'm really sad that KeyCon is temporarily, well, not temporarily, it's not like canceled, it's just moved. Sad that it's displaced, man. All made from palm, like creams. Blueberries are same housings, and a special palm stem. Well, I think they also have a different contact leaf in them also, right? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. It is very possible. Thought that I had heard that though. Hey, you hit 1K followers. Yes, Clutchy, we did. Thank you, man. Thanks for noticing. You're well, just spending way too much time with kids. Your kids for the avoidance of doubt. Doubt of. Personally, a little too long of a bump for you. Been drawn towards silent tactiles, so. Yeah, so I don't really like silent tactiles. I gotta admit, man, I'm not a big fan of them, honestly. Like. Silence, I mean, they're okay. Like, if you need something that's really quiet, like, then they are quieter than non-silence. The non-silent tactiles, however, I don't like their sound profile as much as I like the same switch in a non-silenced tactile. So, like, Zelios are greater than Silence IMO. No matter what way you cut it. That's just the way I feel about them. Right up until you pull in the, well, I need something quiet for a reason. Then I'm down to go with the silenced switches. So, yeah, man, I don't know if anybody's been doing anything exciting. It's kind of not a very exciting time for most of us, but I will say, I had some work done on my house that I didn't expect recently, and now I'm looking into getting a full up solar setup. So for those of you who don't know, I live in the hot ass desert. So it's, you know, it's starting to ramp up, starting to get a little brutal. Starting to get a little more brutal. You know, those $300 electric bills rolling in last month. And I was like, you know what? We're overdue. And the federal tax credit or whatever for getting a solar system is ramped down to 26% from 30% of the system cost now. And next year it'll go down to like 22%. And then eventually away. So it's like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I should do it now. Probably should have done it last year, to be honest, but I just didn't. So, yeah. So I'm really considering getting a decent solar setup. One maybe even with battery backup for like my whole house. So got a couple quotes in from people and stuff, and I don't know. Like, I haven't made the decision yet for sure, but I'm of what kind of a system exactly or on what timeline it will be purchased, but I'm getting kind of serious about it. It's the first time building V2s. I see holy nuts, $300. What's $300? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh yeah, my AC bill. Yeah, it's not the hottest part of the summer yet. It's gonna go up a lot. Like, it might be double that in a month or 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, it's already 96 where you live this week. High altitude desert. Feel your bill pain. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like 100 and change at some point here in this next week. Like, it's about to get ruthlessly hot. So I feel you. High altitude desert. It snows here sometimes. Pretty rare because we don't get a lot of water, but in the winter, especially at night when it's cold, even sometimes in the day, although that's pretty rare, it can snow. I have woken up to 6 inches of snow or 7 inches of snow outside, but it's super, super, super rare. Like, I've been here a decade. I've seen it happen a few times. And I think even the last decade, it's been pretty rare. 81 here and you want to die. So what's the humidity where you're at then, Swizz? So I will say part of the reason that my electric bill is so ridiculous is because I like it cold. I don't know what the actual temperature in here is right now, but the house's air conditioning system is set to central air is set to 68 right now, and I have another air conditioning unit sitting in that bathroom with its duct pipe to the window just to cool this area for when I'm streaming, and it is on right now just to make sure that the air in here stays cool. Oh, 70% humidity would be like the craziest, most humid day ever here. Yeah, the humidity here is under 30%, probably, almost certainly. I don't actually know what the temperature is. It's not giving me a good readout on that, but I do have another way of telling. That's wrong. The little clock I have in front of me says it's like 73, but that thing is obviously wrong because it's cool in here. And 73, I want to die. Also, you live in the desert. High today will be 100, Thursdays will be 109. Okay, 109 is hot, hot, hot. 109F. So weird that you guys have ACs. Yeah. Yeah. I wanna put this in perspective, Bouncy Chillups. Oh, a little piece. Thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that, man. I wanna put this in perspective for you. The only time my heater has ever run ever in this house is the one day where I had a home inspector come to inspect the house before I bought it. Literally one time ever in the amount of time I've been here. Like, you can't even turn my heater on right now without going into the attic because I literally shut the gas off to it. I was like, I don't want anyone turning it on because I have propane where I live, and like, I don't want anyone accidentally turning it on and burning a bunch of propane up. Because, like, why? It doesn't ever get that cold here. I mean, it does get freezing outside, but it's super rare, and the house doesn't really get that cold when it does. See, so this is a thing I did. Notice the problem? It's okay. We can fix that. Boop. Done. In July/August, we see 113 and 115F. Yeah, the highest I've ever seen here is 118, but that's really rare. It doesn't get 118 every year. 113 though, almost certainly every year. Usually have like 1-story houses, right? Yeah, so this is a 1-story house. No, there are plenty of 2-story houses, but there are way more 1-story houses than 2, for sure. And it makes sense, right? Because the upper story will get really hot. There are nice houses that have 2 stories though, and it's not that uncommon. It's gonna be 77F there with a humidity of 57. 77 is a little too warm for me, but for the outside temperature, that's fine. I would trade. Okay, so we're done with this part. Great. Got those lube stabs. Now we're gonna, oh, I don't want the autofocus to get all wonky on us. Now we're gonna pull up our solder mat. I'm gonna zoom out and I actually need to go for 1 sec. Check on something really quick. Sorry, ladies and gents, but I will be right back. Right back. Trying not to go BRB so much. Sorry. I shall return momentarily. Sorry, boys and girls. Had to go check on something real quick. Try not to make that a thing. I don't know why I put this mic down. That thing is useless here. Monday will be 83 with 56%. That's a little warm. And humidity a little high for me. 2 stories require 2 AC units. RIP power. No joke, man. But so I told you guys I put like another air conditioner in this bathroom that's right next to me. The door is open between these 2 rooms so it can cool in here. That's a temporary solution. I actually want to get, so I have central air for my house that heats or cools and heats the whole house. I want to get another mini split unit with multi heads, and I want to get one that's the same size as my actual central air conditioning unit. So the same cooling capacity. Oh, I see a swamp cooler. I see a swamp cooler comment, and I have thoughts on that. I'll talk about it. But I want to get a mini split system with multiple heads because there's rooms in my house that, like, typically speaking, I only need a little bit of my house actually cooled most of the time. Like, there's 3 bedrooms. 1 is basically never occupied at all. Like, at all. I go in it very rarely. There's this room, which I'm in most frequently, and my bedroom, which I'm also in. So, like, at night, I want it to be cold, like 66 when I go to sleep. So when it's 100 degrees outside at night in the summer, that's a fair bit of cooling that my air conditioning system has to do on my whole house just to lower my bedroom down. Likewise, this room, I want to be cool. How can you not be sick all the time? Sick? What do you mean? I don't know. I just don't get sick all the time. I don't really spend much time outside in the summer. So it might be 40 degrees, 40 C or 50 C outside. Sometimes, but I'm never out there. Why does it matter? It's also very dry, so, and the air conditioner dries it out even more. So, like, you just have to put lotion on all the time, but you don't get that weird condensation problem where you're getting super weirdly congested all the time and stuff. There's just no humidity. It's just dry, always. Okay, so where's our 6.25U? There it is. There it is. I was like, why isn't that going in? There it is. What's going on, Rican? How you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah, so I'm just not that stressed about the temp difference, at least. I've not found the difference, with the exception of my power bill, to be that significant. Thank you so much, Lynn P, for that follow. I really appreciate it. A little piece, I think I didn't catch you, but thank you so much for that follow. If anybody else isn't already following or subbed or whatever, you know, go ahead and consider going up in that corner and smashing that button. Let's keep in touch. Keep coming and hanging out. I appreciate you guys, and appreciate your guys' time. Oof. These are like extraordinarily close. Why are these so close? Like really, really close. Okay. I guess we don't put that one in first. That was weird. I didn't remember that being an issue. So these bottom stabilizers, they come so close that you need to put the top ones in first. Otherwise there's kind of like some interference issue there. Super bizarro land. But whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so we got all those stabs in there. Now all we got to do is get some of these, not ISO layout. Jodu123, we're doing standard ANSI per customer requirement. What do you think? How many keyboards have you built by now? Well, we did so excluding ones that I did like never on a stream, we can kind of map this out a little bit and get some numbers, right? So I've been streaming since February of 19. Does that sound right? So 1 year. We did one keyboard a week for a portion of that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we did one keyboard a week from February till February through November. So 10 months. So, and then we've done 2 a week since then, right? So about 14 months. Okay. So if it's 14 months, we'll just assume 4 weeks per month, which is actually not a good assumption, but we'll just say that, right? So 4 times 4 times, I think it's more than 14 months, isn't it? Yeah, we'll call it 60 weeks. That sounds actually like a oh no, it's more than that. February to February would have been 52 plus, no, let's call it 64 weeks. I don't know, it's really awkward. So we'll do, okay, so we'll do 64 weeks. So that's 64 boards. And then how many weeks have I been doing 2, right? Since December. So December, January, February, March, April, and now it's almost the end of May. So 6 months. So another 20, we'll call it 20 weeks, not 26, right? So that's 84 boards plus the ones that I've done never on a stream in the first place. So call that maybe another, conservatively, 10. So 94 boards, nearly 100 boards, nearly 100 boards. I'm gonna say 90 to 95 boards minimum. I think that's actually a pretty conservative estimate too, for what it's worth. Yeah, there you go. Jerk Chicken, what up, man? How you doing? Long time no see. Been grinding on Valorant. Ooh, how you doing there? Killing it? So I've taken to wanting to install these stabilizer, or to screw down one side of each stab before moving on to the other side for any of them, and it comes down to having to be a little bit more careful when no sides are screwed down. So I can do this side, one side on each of them, and have to be like a little extra cautious until I'm done with that, and then I can kind of just move on to like, oh well, screw that one in, screw that one in. I don't know, that's just me though. I'm sad that this doesn't support the 2U left shift, because obviously that's a thing that was desired. However, I'm also really happy that there's not a lot of guesswork involved in where I need to put the stabs. Like really, really happy that there's not a lot of guesswork. Been grinding on, I've been MIA. You need to get GMK Metropolis, Swizz. So Metropolis did look pretty freaking great, I thought. Way better than I thought it would. I didn't jump in on it because I was like, who wants that mustard yellow and all those colors? And it turns out it was actually really nice. The first time I saw any of the Metropolis stuff in person, I was like, man, that's really clean. Kind of want that. But it was too late. Well, it wasn't too late. It was just too late to get in on it at GB pricing. Womp womp. Mizu needs a R2. You know, funny enough, even though Mizu's literally on this desk right now, I don't really love Mizu. I don't think it's Like, it's definitely never gonna win set of the year or even set of the quarter for me. Just not that much of a fan. Did I see GMK Moomin? No, I did not. Send the link, please. Or maybe I did. If I did, I don't remember. Recall it by name? I don't know. Send link. Always send links. For, you know, keyboard appropriate things. Moomin is so cute. Hot Summer Storm, thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that, man. So I always do this kind of a test before anything. Make sure these actuate correctly. And they feel like they all actuate well. None of them are hydraulically locked or rattly right out of the gate. Speaking of links, meant to grab that one. Yeah, man, absolutely. Never gonna be mad at you taking the link for the Callanopes. Kind of thing. So we did actually do some recording pretty recently, as TSC can attest. We did, in fact, do a recording session. There's nothing, I don't think it's all edited and put together yet, so you guys are still gonna have to wait, but you know, it's begun. It has begun. What do I think about putting homework CRP on there? I mean, I don't have homework CRP, but I think it would be nice. There are very few sets where I'm like, this is just going to be ugly on this board. And I say that, I think there are plenty of sets that will look super ugly and crappy on boards, or that I don't think would be appropriate. But then somebody posts an image of it, of a board built like that. And I'm like, dang, that's actually really nice. So I have taken to not giving that feedback to people because frankly, like, sometimes it just turns out extraordinarily well, even though I thought it would have looked like garbage. That did not work out the way I wanted it to. Come here, you. So I can't remember, does this have a button on the back? It does. So we'll flash it after the fact because I'm not too stressed about it right now. And I love doing work on brass plates because it's just so easy. And one, I like brass as a material, but two, it's just so easy to work with. Being that the plate isn't so flexible that I have to like snap a million anchors into the plate before we ever get to, I don't know, man, it's just a pain in the ass with some of the plastic materials. Also, generally, I don't like them that much. Our first two will be group buys and keyboard layouts, and that is correct. That is correct. Those are our first two videos. We'll be doing some more recording very soon. Yes, very, very soon. That is correct. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the Callanopes potential is really there for good educational content for you all. I got around to installing that big girthy pole for your monitors and such. I have, man. I have. It's pretty nice. It's because the lever arm on it is so long, it's actually quite a bit less rigid than you would think, but it doesn't move a ton. Like here, I can move it just a little bit with my finger, as you can see. So it's hanging from the ceiling. But I mean, it's pretty beastly. It's pretty beastly. Oof. What's up, Racing Giraffe? How you doing? Yeah, so the monitor arm that you're talking about, though, for me hangs from the ceiling, not from the desk. And it did clear up a ton of space for me. Like a ton. You fell asleep waiting for stream to start. So you got the notification, the like 10 minutes to go notification, and then you fell asleep. That's funny. Why is this one having a hard time? Oh, I do kind of remember this being a pain. Sorry, man. Sorry, Racing Giraffe. That kind of sucks. Ordered some leaded solder. Nice. I hear that that's actually pretty hard to do in Europe, I thought. Like leaded solder. Such was my understanding, at least. Super hard. They really want us to not die. I mean, like, you're not gonna die from working with lead. You just have to like take the appropriate precautions to not get injured. And really, the appropriate precautions are like wash up. It's really not like that complex. Yeah, just don't lick your fingers. Honestly, the flux is more of an environmental hazard to you than the lead is, because you're not burning the lead, but you're burning the flux. Like, that's what some of that smoke is. Yes, you could argue that most of it is actually steam. We could get into this whole discussion about it, but that's a thing. Bouncy Chillips, man, thanks so much for gifting that sub to Rain. Appreciate that, man. That's 3 subs you've gifted in my channel, man. Thank you. Rain is your bro. Nice, man. Happy to hear it. How you doing, Rain? How you doing, Rain? Hopefully really well. I can never remember. I think it's outer, inner? I don't know. No, it's gotta be all outer and whatever. I'm just gonna leave those bottom row ones alone. We've got shit tons of anchors in here. Before we go all crazy though, we're going to test these stabilized keycaps. I don't know what set we're going to run on this. It's got a teal bottom and a polycarb top. Tempted to do modern Dolch. White on black, bouncy chillips. All right, man. The man has spoken. The man has spoken, and it's his board, so that's what we're going to do. Wob. I love white on black too. White on black is legit my favorite all-time colorway. Like, not even a joke, not even a doubt. Absolutely my favorite, hands down. But we're gonna grab these 2U stabilized, well, all the stabilized keycaps, because we want to test those out before we start soldering stuff together. Oof. Love the way alpacas feel. So clean. We're also going to grab .25U bottom row keycaps to make sure we've got the correct installation. White on black just reminds you of your office. I love white on black. I don't know, man. Since you're apparently in Germany, I'm sure this isn't the case, but can't read your name without thinking of American basketball player name. Chauncey Billups. Nice. Can anyone help Hasty with UK keycap vendor suggestions, please? Oof. MyKeyboards.eu, I think, right? Is a good one. I'm gonna allow some of the Europeans in here to take this though, because I am certainly not gonna be able to do a better job than they are. Okay, I was right. It's all outer, and I think this side is that way as well. Pretty sure it is. I'm gonna remember this forever because I'm tired of getting it wrong. Yeah, so it's for 625U, it's all stretched out. And we know that those keycaps work, the stabilized ones work just fine. I don't remember there being any alignment issues with this one. So basically, we're ready to roll. Okay. Okay, boys and girls, flip this bad boy over. We'll get a few anchors down. We're not even going to do all of them. And then we're going to go straight to putting the rest of the switches in and getting it done. MechKeyboards.co.uk has some Taiho caps in stock. Racing Giraffe, nice. Candy keys, yep. Yeah, I've used candy keys to order stuff before. Alextas. Ooh, nice. You always struggle with bottom row alignment and wondered if it would be safe to mark holes with a marker or something. You could, honestly, the right thing is though, and I criticize or give props to boards where that isn't or is the case, respectively. So generally speaking, I want to see the keyboard manufacturers just silk screening all of it all the time, because I just want it to be obvious what's there, and some keyboards do that. Like, there's no reason that it shouldn't just be a feature that everything has. Like, what does that extra silk screening cost you? Even if it costs an extra $1, I don't know, man, just do it. Like, I don't want to have to think about it. I just want it to be right every time. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. It's just a convenience thing, in my opinion, and one that should be always taken into account. Like, I don't know why it isn't a thing for every modern keep. Like, label all the stabilizer insert locations. Label all of the label all the switches too. Why not just have the letter on the back? It's not like new, it's just some people do it and some people don't. And I like it when it's done. Damn Corona. What kind of solder tip do I prefer? I use a conical tip, and I use a fairly narrow pointed one, but it kind of depends on what solder job I'm doing, because there are actually plenty of other tips that I love using. I don't know, man. It's a really hard question, right? Because there are so many options. I don't like ones that have sharp edges very much, and I don't like ones that are very wide. But otherwise, I'm not like too particular. I don't use the finest tip that I have because they don't have as much surface area contact with the pin and the PCB. So they actually don't have the best thermal conductivity. So I can show you guys a little bit. Let me show you the one I'm using currently under microscope. Right? It's not that big. Here's one that's considerably smaller, and two others that I do use for various things. So here's one that's super pointed, right? Comparatively, much finer tip, actually. Much pointier. Here's one that is more like most of the conical tips you guys will see. This is a more usual size, this one on the left. But this one is actually the like half pointed one. So I like that kind just fine. And then I actually really like this type of tip a lot. So there's like a little well there for solder, and it's kind of useful for drag soldering. So for like SMD stuff, but it's also honestly just fine for what we're doing here. Like any of these tips except for the finest pointed one would work just fine. Yesterday you gave a small chisel a try and felt like the flat front edge conducted much faster than the outside. What kind of iron do you have, if you don't mind me asking? Don't mind me asking. And Bouncy Chillips, what did you actually get, man? Tiswell. I'm not familiar with the model that you have. I mean, I've heard the manufacturer name, but I don't know a model you must have. Is it a direct heating tip element, or is it a ceramic heating element with a tip that flows over the top of it? I'm guessing it's the latter. And it matters a little bit, right? So thermal mass of whatever your tip is matters in many instances, but it might not be that critical for direct heating element ones. Ceramic heating element. Yeah, so typically speaking, you want a slightly more weighty, i.e. thermal mass tip with that kind of an iron. So you probably don't want to use fine tips especially. Like the conductivity will be lower, with a finer tip because you have less surface area contact, but also if there's a greater thermal mass, the temp stability of the tip will be better in all cases. But with a direct heating element tip like this, where it's built in to the tip itself, if you have enough power in your iron, then your tip will maintain a really stable temperature no matter what. Ow. Burned my finger on that pad that I just touched. Put my finger on it to like apply pressure on the board, and literally the spot that I just touched. Wow, wow. It wasn't like a significant burn. It was just, you know, enough heat to get my attention real good. Heat is definitely an attention getter. All right, well, most of the way there, boys and girls. Another attention getter to be watchful of is actually just pressing down on the switch pins themselves. They're little tiny sharp pieces of metal that can easily puncture the very tip of your finger with the amount of pressure that you can apply to the PCB with just your fingertips. Guess we could probably zoom in quite a lot more. Bouncy chill-ups, I use Kester 6040. How do you know when to apply pressure on the PCB when soldering? So you never want to apply pressure with the soldering iron itself, not significant pressure. That is just a thermal transfer utility, right? That's all it's made to do, is make it hot. I apply pressure on the switches, like this switch is not soldered in yet, so I'm applying pressure on the switch stem itself and then the back of the PCB right next to it, because I'm trying to make sure that the switch is seated all the way down flush with the PCB and snapped firmly in place on the plate. Now I know they snapped in place on the plate because I put them in and I watched them all happen, but I don't know that the PCB didn't flex out of the way a little bit. I want to make sure that it's seated all the way, just so I can, you know, make sure that the board's quality is going to be good. You wish you had gotten clear switch films, Bouncy chill-ups. I gotta be really honest. I'm happy you did not get clear switch films, because they're a giant pain in the ass. Definitely go with colored ones whenever you have the option. Unless you're going with like clear keycaps or something like that, you can't really see them, and it makes installing them much simpler. Much simpler. I'm telling you from experience, man. The clear ones are a giant pain. They really are. You know what? We're gonna snap the rest of these in place. We've got enough anchors in. Enough to hold the plate down relatively firmly, right? Color adds some razzle dazzle too. It does. I really appreciate the color. I think they look good. Racing Giraffe, we're on the same page. It's not just that it makes it easier, they do also look kind of nice. I do have some clear ones, but I bought a bunch of colored ones, all the different kinds of colors that TX had, basically. I actually need to do some alpacas for myself. Lube and film them myself. For me. What will they go in? I don't know. I could not tell you for sure. I'll snap the rest of these in though, and then we'll get back to soldering. Now, a good steward of their iron and tips would turn their iron off right now, which I have not done. Ooh. So this will happen sometimes, and I want to show you guys. I want you to be 100% aware. So if you look, when you install films, sometimes the case won't snap together. So all you need to do is apply some pressure. Right? We're going to apply pressure right here, snap it back down. Right? And then we're done. But if you don't snap it down, you may have a hard time getting into the plate. Now I try and make sure that they're all snapped together as I lube them and put them back together. However, sometimes you don't catch them all on that QC, but you will catch them on this part, especially if your plate is fairly tight. It would be like pretty impossible to miss, because as the little tines are pressed up out of the way, they won't go into the plate. You'd have to have like a plate that allows switch top opening for you to miss it, pretty much. Which is one reason that I recommend against switch top opening plates. And I negatively criticize boards for having them in the first place. Here, and I'll show you what I mean, because I found another one. Okay. So if you look right there, it's not only is it not clipped in, but the tine right here is extended outward and it won't fit into the plate. Whereas on the other side, right, it's flush. So it does fit in. So we snap it back together. Now, if we had a switch top opening plate, it would actually be possible to have put that switch in without noticing. Now, anytime you do films, you're gonna see more of this, where you're gonna be extra careful to make sure that they were snapped together correctly. Just got a custom keyboard from Teihao Types on Teihao Types, I'm guessing you mean. Nathan Kim. Seems super interesting but overwhelming at the same time. Nathan Kim is pretty awesome. It's not so overwhelming. It's just there's a lot of things that there's a lot of information to absorb, but you don't need to know all of it. Palinator, you don't need to know all of it to make a good board. We were talking about this earlier. Nobody can make your opinion up for you, but people can give you a good starting point for making your own choices. So if you're interested in knowing like what the best of one thing or another is, they may not be able to tell you exactly, but they can, if they're good about sharing information and not just being biased, they can share like some of the, accepted best options, and that should help you like narrow down what you want. You can learn a lot from keyboard.university. You can also go and sub to my YouTube channel and watch whatever VODs you want there, and head on over to Calanopes, which is a project between me, TSC, and Langalandia, where we don't have any of our content. We don't have any content up yet, but it's a project that we started specifically just to be educational. And our first 2 videos will be about group buys, like how they work, what they're all about, and then one on layouts. And those have already been filmed. They just haven't been fully edited and posted yet. Releasing videos June 9th. There you go. Thank you, TSC. Yeah, I think the educational part for noobs is a thing that needs to be focused on. So those 2 videos that I was talking about, those are going to be in our Keyboards 101 thing. Because we want to make sure that everybody is able to, get into the hobby, kind of understand what's going on, and not feel overwhelmed. All right, so here we go. '20 was here. Nothing beats a nice custom. Typed on all sorts of boards since the '70s. All were basically crap until custom got some mainstream traction a few years ago. I agree with you, man. You can build some good stuff now. Yeah, Doc to owned. Yes, it is a deep hobby, man. And it is definitely for people that are like into hobbies where there's a meticulous nature amongst most of the participants. People who want to research and understand and really dive deep. But I will say there's also a fair bit of snobbery that goes on and bias, like past performance bias in some ways. So sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, that thing is crap because some former iteration of it was crap, but the current one may not be. I'm not saying we should not allow past performance to be an indicator of potential current performance, but when we actually assess things, it should be objective. So without getting into like too much detail on specific things or specific venues or platforms where that's true, because I don't really care, honestly. I'm always making up my own opinion. I just encourage you all to do the same in all the cases. I guess reputation is a little bit different, right? Like if someone has proved themselves disreputable, that's an indicator of character, potentially not of just performance. Whatever the case, I recommend that you guys check out all the options that you can. But if you're looking for good starting points, man, say what you're generally into. And I go through this with my customers who are new. They're like, oh, I kind of don't know what I want, or I want something like this. There may or may not be options for things that are readily available in whatever your preference is, your exact preference. So you either get to wait or choose something different, or go down the hard road of selecting parts from things that previously ran, finding them, getting a hold of them on the secondary market, and then building from them. So find stuff you like, and then don't be afraid to learn about those things, what options there are in that realm, and then make that happen. You're the token grandpa here. Feel free to boomer you. Oof. Nah, man, I'm not like that. I'm just say what's up, Doc, when you join chat. Tends to happen. Overall, custom community is quiet and nice, open. Yeah, it is. It like quite nice and open, I think is what you meant to say. And yeah, it is. It is nice and it is open. And I agree with you about mech market being kind of crazy right now. It wasn't when I started getting into the hobby, but it's absolutely bananas with price gouging and or inflation and or FOMO at this point. But that's going to be the case in situations where there's more demand than supply. Demand definitely grew more than supply could keep up with which is why you have group buys running out super fast and stuff like that. Basically what it comes down to is some of those people who newly got into the hobby, we need some of them to decide to make boards and key sets and stuff like that. For key sets, we also need the manufacturers to either become more plentiful or be able to increase production. Which they may or may not have a desire to do. I don't know. I think that it will somewhat normalize. I think that it will. So anytime you feel like maybe switch isn't pressed in all the way against the PCB and or the plate, just, you know, reach back and press against it. Make sure that it's snapped in before you solder. That's a critical one. Racing giraffe flipping, no joke, man. You think it's this hobby growing too fast? People can't easily fall into the hole of gatekeeping, and it's very nice to find a down-to-earth, welcoming chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We try here, man. We try and cultivate that atmosphere. And I thank all of you guys for helping. Not letting it get weird or mean or political in a way that's non-constructive or whatever. I appreciate all of that. Thank you guys. This is about making cool educational content that's fun and relaxing, but also doesn't get so far off topic that we lose track of what's going on, which is ultimately today that we're building this KBD8X MkII, and I want it to turn out as perfectly as it can. Partially because I'm building it for someone else, but also because I'm into the hobby and I want the boards to be good. I want them to turn out well. I want it to be something that I'm proud of having made. I think you guys understand. Great. Do I recommend filming all switches or only specific types? Definitely only specific types. In fact, I'm against filming the vast majority of switches. Like basically anything made by Gateron pretty much doesn't need to be filmed because the housings are already fairly tight. Novelty creams, don't film those. I don't know, like alpacas are kind of perfect with films. It takes them from being a good switch to like a truly spectacular one. Lube job and film on alpacas is gonna make like one of the best linear switches out there. Probably the best linear switch out there. IMO. Man, we're almost done. Catch up on chat a little bit first. Some people recommend to film inks. I think some people do, but I don't. Vin sticks. I actually don't think that they're considerably better. They may be better. I don't think it's worth the hassle or effort of doing it to them. I think a good lube job on inks makes them pretty great. That's just my thoughts though, I guess. It's funny, I don't remember, was it 20 was here? You were saying it's okay to boomer you. It kind of isn't, man. Like, I actually take pride in the fact that my stream, just looking at its analytics, like my numbers don't outperform other people in any significant way or anything like that. But one place where, looking at what little information I can get from YouTube and Twitch, I'm proud to say that I have a percentage-wise a fairly high female viewership and a fairly high distribution in terms of age, which I like, because my goal here is to reach an audience that wants to learn, and people want to learn in basically all categories, and I really don't want to like just cater to one or alienate one for the sake of getting a few more viewers in another. It's not okay. That does not make me happy. It does not make me a happy camper. Okay, so we'll clear that. We should be able to. I don't know if you guys can see the red light shining there. On, off, cool. So we know that works. So here we go. We've got a nice plate going on here. So we're done soldering for today. So always tin your tip, boys and girls. So clean the tip really well. Tin it. Right? Then clean it again real quick. Tin it. Right, holster it, turn it off. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so now, because we don't need to solder more, I'm gonna wind this solder job up. Ooh, don't hit Rukia, I'll get mad. Okay. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to wind the solder back in. And I like to leave this little tail up and flip it over. Right, just flip that guy over so it stays. Put it up there. I'm going to get rid of this mat because it's kind of in the way now. Get out of here. Maybe you'll switch to alpacas then. Alpacas are great, man. I believe alpacas are superior to inks, but only slightly. Only slightly. It's nice to have a channel that's welcoming to ladies in the hobby too, at least for you. It's not the case on all the platforms. That's true. But I think everybody tries to be inclusive. Some just succeed or fail more for whatever reason. Your next build will be with blacks. Yeah. Black inks are good switches, man. I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm just saying I believe that there's a slight edge. What we're going to do here is, instead of putting this whole thing together first, I'm actually going to put all the caps on it. Put all of them on it right now. Then we can see if there's any weird misalignment issues or anything like that. So it's funny, Bouncy Chill-Ups, man. You said use white on black. Did you get a white on black set, man? In the most recent GB? Or the most recent drop? Purchase? Nice, man. I'm happy for you. I think you're gonna be pretty happy with them. I hope so, at least. Kind of sad you didn't get a second one. Yeah, so I got, that was my second one, was the most recent buy. So I'm pretty stoked. Because this is the older one. The newer one came in a cardboard box, which, meh. I hate the new GMK packaging because I store my keycaps in the GMK trays. So the new trays suck, are not as good for storage, and so I don't like them. So the reason I'm doing this instead of the other way is because I want to see misalignment now, because I'm going to need to change the solder on it if I need to reflow the solder if I need to realign anything. Now these switches all have PCB legs on them, which is for anybody who doesn't know. Right, these pins right here, the metal ones, those are the contact leaves internally. The center pin right here, that's where the stem goes down into. But then these two little plastic doodads on either side, those are just really for centering it in the plate, or in the PCB rather, which should align up with the plate. So there shouldn't be much opportunity for it to twist around. There are a couple exceptions, like this is an exception. This is maybe a little bit of an exception, though this is more because it's not fixed in the plate. And then all of the stabilized mods can get a little wonky. But because of those extra pins, it's very unlikely that in this case we'll run into that. But either way, we'll do it here, and we'll do it before we put the plate and PCB into the top case, because the top case is polycarbonate, and polycarbonate scratches incredibly easy. Rafa Mundez, thank you so much for that follow, man. I appreciate that. Corpse, I think I got you earlier, but I might not have. Thank you for that follow, man. Appreciate that. I really do. Send to Dixie, whatever, or whoever sent them. Between that and the board, over a month, your patience is outstanding. Yeah, it does take a while sometimes. Bounty Chillips, Josh. Okay, what'd you send, man? What'd you send? What'd you send? My gird. Oh Lord. Bro. Were any of the actual 8008 keycaps damaged? Oh man, thankfully nothing got damaged. That's so rough, dude. That is so rough. I'm sorry that happened, man. That's tough, man. That really is. It's not okay. But yet another reason why I don't like the cardboard, because the plastic case wouldn't have crushed, would have just gotten tweaked a little bit and bounced right back. how I feel about it. I have had some damage to the exterior box of some customer boards. I also had someone package and send me a board like that I bought. And the board took damage in shipping because they packed it poorly. So that was pretty terrible. Stash, thank you for the raid with 29 viewers. How are all of you guys doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you are. So I was already on bad terms with DHL. No joke, man. No joke. Welcome everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great time. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Stash, man. We're building the KBD8X MkII. What'd you do? What'd you build, man? What'd you build? All right. So here's our awesome plate. Put the top case over it. There was no O-rings. Yeah, okay, good. I'm not a fool. There wasn't one. There wasn't a set. Right? So right now we're gonna screw this top case in. Stash. You unboxed Matrix Able X. Oof. Was desoldering until you realized it was built with lead-free solder. Dang, dude, that is so rough. Hey, everybody, don't use lead-free solder. It's bad. Okay, lead is good. Okay, lead is your friend. I know, generally speaking, everybody says lead is terrible, and well, lead is definitely a thing you don't want to ingest. You don't want the environmental pollutant to get into your body, but your skin is a pretty good protective layer. So as long as you're not, like, you know, touching your eyes and picking your nose and licking your fingers, you're pretty good. And honestly, even if you're dealing with lead-free solder, you don't want to do that because there's a lot of other things in there that aren't that good for you. And you're going to get flux all over the place, and you don't want that too. So honestly, lead solder is awesome, but here's the reason that a lot of cases we should not be using leaded solder, right? And it doesn't really hold true for this little tiny non-OEM hobby that we have, right? Now, when it comes to Corsair making a bunch of consumer disposable boards, I agree. Let's go lead free. Let's go lead free with that, because frankly, like, they make a lot and they generate a lot more waste, and those boards are going to get thrown away when they're bad. Somebody's not going to take the time to repair it. Got tips to desolder the lead-free solder. What are you using, Stash, to do the solder and or desolder job? Are you using a Hacko, FR301 or similar? Ooh, why doesn't that want to go in? Oh, that one's stripped? That's weird. Well, that's really unfortunate. How is that like that? That's the one that fell out earlier, so it's just stripped. Oh, it totally is. That's really rough. Okay. Make sure it's not the screw. Well, this is the screw that I used, so let's try that one somewhere else. I think it's not the screw. Yeah, I tried, had a good hand pump. Add some leaded solder. Yeah, so that is one thing you can do. Add more solder. You have the good hand pump. Shit, man. So leaded solder melts at a slightly higher temperature. So unfortunately, one thing that kind of has to be taken into account is that temperature. You're gonna need to increase it just a little bit. Dang, you guys remember how I was like, hey, one of these wasn't screwed in and it came out with the case when we took it apart? That's why that hole right there was stripped. Yeah, the actual helicoil is not in there. That's rough, dude. Okay, well, so that won't be in, and thankfully it's a brass plate, so you won't notice a ton, but you do notice a little bit, and I can show you. Now I'm applying a lot of pressure localized just to that one spot. This is already made to be a little bit of a flexi PCB, so that's going to be a thing, so that'll be a thing to watch out for. Unfortunately, that's not really a very fixable thing because this is polycarb. Super glue is not going to do it. Obi-Wan Kabuti. It'll come free. I have some E6000 I could try, but then it'll permanently fix the PCB plate assembly to the top, and we don't want to do that. Epoxy would work too, but similar, you're getting a similar scenario. So one thing that could be done is a larger helicoil could be installed, or another helicoil maybe. But that's a little harder than it sounds. Solgiosu, yeah, glue. I would want to glue an insert in there, like drill the hole out, glue an insert in there, and then you would be able to screw it in and out. That's a lot of work too. I think honestly you're just going to deal with it, and there's just going to be a little bit of flex. There's already a little bit of flex, even though it's brass because of the plate. I don't think you notice it too much, except for when you're pushing up on these F keys. Because look, even over here, you're seeing flex over here. I think it's good. Well, so the helicoil would thread itself in, but the problem is that there was a helicoil in there, and it's not in there anymore. So probably what happened is it got ripped out. Unfortunately. They did put in inserts. Well, they put in helicoils. Inserts would have cost them a bit to drill it out and epoxy insert into every one of those holes. Who uses F keys anyway? Gundam cheese, right? Ouch. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think it's nice anyway. But yeah, look out for a new PC top, and that's what you'll have. Yeah, don't hammer it in. Polycarb is brittle and will crack for sure. I'll leave that extra screw in the box, obviously. I don't think it matters that much. It's just a thing to be aware of. I think inserts would have been the way to go too, personally, but nobody's really doing these things, right? We're trying to make things that seem really high end, but that actually have some low end qualities. I want things to be higher end than they are. I think if it flexes too much, those pins are actually going to bottom out on the case anyway, and it won't matter. Personally. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I do have a PC top, but sorry, man. I'm not really in the market to sell my boards. Important question. Can we have pics of the doggos? Yeah, no joke, man. No joke. Like, man, I feel for Stash though, honestly. Like, right after stream, usually I don't want to hang out in somebody else's stream for too long. I do a little bit, but then like I'm just like, well, I just was streaming for a while. I need to like wash my hands and handle life things. So he's busy. Yeah, polycarb top and an alu base. Best combo for Focky sound, a polycarb bass with alu top. I don't know. I have an all polycarb one, and I think it sounds okay. Why don't we listen to them together after this? Mine has all the damping stuff in it though, which I recommend against, to be honest. I think it's not the way to go. I think I want the natural sound. I don't know where this song came from, but I don't recall anything here. I don't know where that came from. It'll be okay on type 2. Yeah, I don't think it matters, man. Not with that one, at least. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but we can test the one that I have versus this one sound-wise. I have a feeling this will sound better. Sounds pretty damn good to me. Sounds pretty damn good. Microscope. What are we gonna do with microscope? Oh. So here's the other thing we are gonna do that we should have done at the very beginning. Now, it's not a polycarb bottom, so it's not that bad, but you should always be putting your bump-ons on first, boys and girls. Do what I say, not what I do. Put this on first. And the reason that you want to put these on first is so that you don't scratch your bottom case. This is a B-stock one, and it has a couple little micro scratches, but you never want to add more. Now, like I said, this one's alu, not polycarb bottom, so not that critical because the anodization is going to protect from most little minor scratches that you could receive from like your desk mat or whatever debris is on your desk mat when it's relatively clean. My desk mat does have a bunch of flux on it. Now the flux isn't hard enough to scratch these materials, but it is definitely capable of leaving residue on there that look like scratches until you wipe it off. But also B-stock aluminum might have a thinner anodizing coating on it. It does look nice. The coat weight does look nice. Palinator, thank you for that follow. Anybody who isn't already a follower or a sub, please, now is the time to consider going up here, handling that follow. Let's stay in touch, you know, turn on notifications. You'll see when I go live, and we'll have more great times together. Adam 1480, thanks again. Thanks, man, for that follow. Appreciate that. Someone said science, and that's what I always think of. Nice. I like the way this board looks. All right, so let's boom on, right? So let me mute this mic real quick for 1 second. All right, mic on. Here we go. Get us another view, another little view of this bad boy. So I think it looks pretty nice. I hope you guys do too. I really hope you do. I'm gonna turn off the extra air conditioner that's in this room. Laguber. Thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that, man. So we'll do some keep science and we'll do the sound test against it. These both have GMK caps on them. These have, if I'm not mistaken, okay. My fingers are too slick to pull these off. No, they aren't. Can I get it without a keycap puller? Oh, I can. These have lubed 62 gram Zelios in them, so these are tactiles. These are obviously Alpaca linears, so there is going to be a little bit of a difference in sound, and I can make apparent what's going on there. All right. So I haven't turned off any of the, I haven't turned anything off that would change the sound too much, or I haven't turned off the things that do change the sound a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that now. You guys are gonna hear a lot more background noise when I change the noise gate settings and disable the compressor and all that good jazz, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So sound gate off, compressor off, and let me pull up switch hitter again. Sorry, it's a little louder. So this needs to be adjusted just a tiny little bit. The enter key. I didn't notice that one. That's weird. Just the stabilizer? No, it does need to be changed a little bit, but we'll change that after this. And now, so I personally believe, oh, was I in your way? I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually think that the alphas sound better on the Zelios, but the mods sound considerably better. Especially the stabilized keycaps sound better on the Alpacas. The Thocs are a little different. These are a little bit higher pitched. There's no doubt about it. The aesthetics are different, right? Because you're only ever going to get a little bit of shine through on this, whereas on this board, because the whole bottom piece is polycarbonate also, you will get a bunch of shine, right? You'll get way more light coming through. I think I like the all polycarb option a little more, but I think the switches sound a little better here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, no, I know it wasn't an option, man. I'm just stating. I think that this does sound material-wise probably a little bit better, and the color looks better. But the mods sound a lot better there. So we're gonna switch in a sec, and we're gonna get to a typing test. And I think that's where the money lies, right? So Risu1313, thanks for that follow. Jack Attacks, thanks for the follow. Laguber, I caught yours earlier, I think, but thank you so much for that follow. So we're, about 9 inches or so from the tip of the microphone to the keycaps, or to the space bar at least. Got all of our compressors and everything turned off. Now I'm gonna pull up little typing test action, and we can get to this. Do a little bit of a build. Visionaire, what's up, man? How you doing? Jack Attacks, where can you get this case? I gotta be honest, man. Mech Market is really your only option at this point if you're looking for this. Sorry about that, man. How noticeable is the missing screw? It doesn't seem very noticeable, man. Because you have a brass plate, it's not super noticeable. It's there. There's no doubt about that. Oops, sorry. But it's not terrible. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't at all, in fact, to me. So we'll do a typing test. We'll see where we get to. My typing angle is all wrong. 77. Yeah, I mean, we did 75 the other day, I guess, but we've also been doing like in the 50s. My typing's just really inconsistent right now. Would you notice if you didn't know it wasn't there? There's too many negatives there. I would notice if I didn't already know eventually. Maybe not right away, though. Anyway, all right, so here we go. This is bad. Really bad. Okay. It felt really, really bad. It felt really unnatural, and like my angle was wrong, and my cadence and pace was totally off. I kind of want to do a different one. I kind of want to do another one. Watch, it's going to be worse. $72. Still didn't feel good. Like I feel like with the with the linears, my fingertips aren't cueing to start relieving pressure on the switches, so I'm just bottoming out super hard and my fingers are getting fatigued. doing it. So I'm just not used to doing linear typing that much. So yeah, I don't think I could do another one faster right now. I think my actual fingers are tired from just that because I'm smashing it so hard. Yeah, still pretty close. Wait, you should have stayed with the original. What's this? Bro, if you can get 120, I am happy for you. That is definitely not where I'm at. Not at all. Need some practice on a typewriter, build up them muscles. I mean, I type super hard all of the time. It's just like because they're linears and I'm not feeling the bump right now, like I could tell that my fingers are like not cueing when the actuation happens to start letting up until they just smash into the bottom full force. It's weird. Yeah, I wouldn't sweat the missing screw. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It doesn't seem to be that significant. It is noticeable if you're paying attention to it. It just like that flexes more than that. So this flexes, and at F8 it doesn't really flex. But if you go down to 6, there's flex, and if you go down to 9, there's flex, right? And then if you go down to the next row, which is the next column, right? So if you go to T and to P, you can see a lot of flex and a lot of flex. I just don't think it's that significant. You got around 121 now, and the inks are a tad too heavy. Ooh, you need some lighter springs. I'm just not in that. I'm not in that. Monkey type, it's way sexier. Okay, man, I'll check it out. Where'd that link go? There we go. I will keep that in mind, man. I will keep it in mind. Thank you. I followed the link. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful board. I gotta say, I like it. I really, really do. I don't think this needs to be here for it. Doesn't really fit so well with it. I think I like the bottom color a lot. Like just looking at it, I like that teal. This weight is a little different. So this is definitely a different weight. It's sealed differently, like lacquered, and this one it's sealed, but I think it's a thinner material with a slightly different finish. Yeah, I think teal's a good option, man. I think it looks beautiful. I like it a lot. Well, the weight on this one is a little more scratched, but I don't think it matters that much. I like the coloring on the bottom case more. When it's off and you're just looking at it, but when it's on, obviously I like that RGB. There aren't a lot of true polycarb RGB options all around. This PCB, of course, has the RGB on it, which you can kind of see a little bit there, but honestly, if it were me, I would turn that off. We are going to do one more thing real quick. So we are going to find the VIA firmware. VIA keyboard software. I don't know if that's VIA. Can I use via.com? Okay, so what we're going to do is, right, we're going to go to caniusevia.com. We're going to download via. It's actually not what we want. Check compatibility, firmware downloads. we're gonna find 8X KBD8X Mark II. We're gonna download this firmware, right? Then I'm gonna open up QMK Toolbox, right? I don't know if there's a default reset option on the board, so I may actually have to unscrew it to get this in. So my bad. But I can look. Hold on. QMK configurator. We'll go here. We'll look up KBD8X. Two. Doesn't look like, I mean, there's gotta be one. I just don't know what it is. So hold on. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay. Doesn't look like it reset. And I'm still getting a switch hitter. Okay. So we go there. So I downloaded that firmware. So what I'm gonna do is, yes, I always post on YouTube, man. Rafa Mundez, always. So note to self, boys and girls, always do this first. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna via this guy. Man, where were you the first time I tried to find via? Talk about a link that's hard to find. It is mostly because VIA like is gonna get you a bunch of things that aren't. So if you type via configurator in, you'll find it. You'll find a link to Can I Via. Sorry about the bummer, boys and girls. I'm having to take this thing back apart real quick. We're almost done. Okay. So we're gonna set this down like this. We're gonna pull it up. It's okay because I actually need to realign the enter switch anyway. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this in, right? Oh my God, it came on board. Let me pull up QMK Toolbox so you can see that. I've already gone up here and put the correct location in. Now, if I push this button right here, this reset button, you're gonna see it show up as a device here, and we're gonna flash the via hex to it. And once we flash the via hex, right, and that goes away, should be able to open that up. Notice that it does in fact work. Great. We'll turn that off. And then we will be able to open up via. Let me get to that. 1 sec. I just had to start via. And you guys are going to see, right? So if I go to via configurator right now, you'll see that there's 2 keyboards installed. Right? So this is the 8X. The other one was this is KBD8X Mark II. Right, and then I can do whatever I want there, right? Like, for example, like this is caps lock. I can go change that to left windows. Right, great. So I'm gonna change that back to caps lock. Get rid of via. So now you guys kind of all know what's going on. I'm going to put this back on like we're done. If you guys look really close, you can see that the enter droops down a little bit on this side, right? So you're going to be like, well, how do we fix that? How do we fix that thing, right? And the easiest way for me to kind of show you how to fix that is we find the enter. We're going to loosen his stabilizer just a little bit, not all the way. I'm gonna look back at it, make sure it isn't just stabilizer, and it's not, right? So what we're gonna do is we need to remember that we're gonna push up on this, enter, right? We're gonna fire up our iron real quick. This is our enter switch right here. And our iron is now at soldering temperature, right? And we're gonna apply, reflow that joint and apply pressure on that part of the stab, or on that part of the switch, right? And now, if you look at it, it's all lined up. Perfect, right? Everything else looks lined up great. Now we're going to tighten that stab down. Make sure that it still looks good and it actuates just fine. Still looks great. Actuates just fine. Kill our iron. Put the top back on. Now it's all via compatible. It's literally all done. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. It's in good shape now. It's in good shape. It's built. It's ready to roll. I'm gonna throw these screws back in real quick. And then we're done, boys and girls. Yeah, this is not navy, it's a teal color, but I think it looks really good too, personally. I think it looks fantastic. I do. Pretty happy. I would be happy to own this board, man, and I hope you are too. But I also know you have some other premium stuff coming, man, and I can't wait. I can't wait. But I also can't wait to see your results of you soldering your own stuff together, man. All right, there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Enter does in fact work. All right. It is pretty clean, man. I like it. I don't know what these cost on the B stock market, but they look fantastic. Yeah, man. Doc to owned. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm gonna be going too, so that's not too bad, Bouncy Chillips. That's not too far off the mark. All right, boys and girls, it's been really fun. That pretty much wraps up the day for us. I don't know who else is streaming right now, but I'm gonna give it a look-see. Who else is on Twitch? Daddy, who the hell is that? Critter Vision, of course, is streaming. Top Clack is streaming. Yeah, we're gonna hit up Top Clack. So guys, guys and girls, thank you so much again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Nah, we're gonna raid Top Clack. So thanks again, guys. And if you haven't already followed or subbed, please go up in there and you know, hit that button. I would really appreciate you guys smashing it and keeping in touch. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks again for your time.
Has done are looking absolutely glorious and beautiful. The pen rail is screwed in now, yes. I am you. Thank you very much for the raid, man. I really appreciate you joining, dude. Doing the sequel to your JO1. I know you're a JO1 owner. Yeah, the reason for it, Nova Keeps, was threefold. One, the company that we're using for the magnet supplier, which supplied the magnets for the JO1, they went bankrupt during the whole COVID fiasco earlier on this year, after the group buy, but before we placed the order for the parts. Secondly, a JO2 that got shipped around to a few different people